on this one, but this is the way that I did it so that I could get as much as possible on the table for you to see. So hopefully that's all right. So let's wait for people to join. There's 2 people. I'm sure we're going to get some more. So we'll wait until we've got a few more before I start talking about everything. I have, of course, got the Jemima jumpsuit on and I am loving it. I'm wearing it today. It's so comfy and also really, really cool. Really nice, and yeah, I like the fabric where I'm making it in a viscose. It makes it so wearable. So yeah, I am in another house, you may have noticed. I've moved again. I was actually thinking as I was setting up, how many houses has my sewing machine lived in? Hi Tina! Definitely a lot. So I got this sewing machine when I was 16. I took it to uni with me. I even took it on my Erasmus year abroad to Italy. So it has been everywhere with me. Oh, and you're still going strong, aren't you? She's probably lived in about 16 different houses. So Rosie is here answering your questions. So do feel free to pop them in the chat. If you're new to our live sew-alongs, maybe you've watched them afterwards and not live, but so just how it works with the live, you can just chat away, type away to each other. I will see them come up, and Rosie of course will also see them on the feed and she'll be able to answer them. I say I'll see them, but often I'm focusing on what I'm doing down there, so I'll try, and then I get FOMO because I feel like I've missed out. Anyway, we are sewing the Jemima jumpsuit. I am wearing this version, which I absolutely love. I've had it on all day. Sometimes I get dressed just for the sew-along, but I've had it on all day and I am loving it. It's just so comfy and so wearable. So yeah, really, really happy with this pattern, and it's a really easy one. It's not got any kind of tricky things to it. So yeah. Now, what we're going to do today is we're going to sew up the darts, not the darts, sorry, the pleats. So I've got kind of just some cut the front piece and also the back, the front pieces and also the front trouser pieces as well. So I'm going to sew those up. I'm going to be doing things in a slightly different order. That's often the way in the sew-alongs. So please don't get confused or be worried that you're doing it the wrong way. I'm doing it just so I can kind of focus on something specific for you for this sew-along. So that's, and then you'll be able to watch this and learn about that specific thing. So, before I get started, this is a new fabric that I'm using. Speaking of how I love viscose, this is called Felicity, and I designed this sort of painterly floral. We've got it in a couple of colorways, but it's coming out in this colorway this weekend. It's Friday today, so it's coming out this weekend, but specifically to VIPers. So if you're a VIPer, then you're going to get access to this before everybody else, and you're also going to get a discount, and also there's going to be a sale on. So there is lots of reasons to sign up to the VIP club if you haven't. If you don't know what I'm talking about, the VIP club, let's do my 2-minute elevator pitch. Basically you pay £10. With that, you get to choose a pattern that you want, one of our PDF patterns of your choice, which are all above £11.50. £11, can't remember. So you're already making a saving. Then you get 10% off any new pattern. You also get 2 VIP sales and lots of other nice little treats. So Rosie has put a link up to the VIP club there. So it's really a no-brainer. You get access to things early as well, and sometimes our sample fabrics do sell out, so it's worth it for that. Right, so yeah, and this was designed with, for those of you that don't know, I am setting up another business. I'm setting up a flower farm, completely different business, but it's also creative because I'm doing floristry and stuff. Anyway, so everything I'm thinking about at the moment is flowers. I mean, I've always loved flowers and I've always designed fabrics which have a floral print, you know, but this particularly, there's something about it that says British flowers to me. The fact that they're not all perfect and they're all a bit wibbly wobbly. And that's what inspired this print. Right, so we're going to start with the notches. Yeah, it's lovely, isn't it, Ruth, this fabric? Lovely. So we're going to do one notch at a time. So we're going to take Mr. Notch here, one notch at a time, one pleat at a time. Working from the side seam, we're going to go in and we're going to come to the first notch and we're going to take it across to the second notch. And then we're going to pin it. So the pleats really are the main feature of this jumpsuit. I keep saying jumpsuit, it's also a dress. I think 50% of you are making a dress and loving that, and 50% are loving the jumpsuit. But yes, so I think that, you know, they really are feature, the pleats, the way they pleat and they meet up. So it's important that you're really precise about them. So what we're going to do is we are going to do the first one. And then we are going to we're going to stitch that in place, and then we'll do the next one, stitch it in place, then we'll do the next one. So I'm just going to, I've pinned it there, and then I am going to stitch with a centimetre seam allowance. I'm going to machine tack it, so nice long stitch length, and I'm just going to go over that just to hold it in place. Ooh. Did not like that, there's something wrong with my tension. And I am going to hand baste or tack, which I never do. I don't know if I ever do any hand stitching on this, but I'm going to do some with you, just to keep them in place, because you really want them to hold that structure. So I'm going to anyway go on to the next one. I'm just checking actually my notches are in there. Are you in there, notches? Check one now. Can't find one. No, Poppy, shh. Poppy has been barking so much recently. It is driving me mad. I think it's because we're in a new house and she's just, yeah, being Miss guard dog. Oi, shh. Okay, that's another one. So they're going towards the front. They've been folded in towards the front of the bodice. Wow. I've got shoes on because I've come in from the garden, and I've got shoes on, and I just thought they're trainers and they're a bit fiddly to put back on. I can't bother to take them off. But it's really weird sewing at home in shoes. Feels very strange. Okay, so that's the next one, and then the last one as well. Now the last one, I should just say, you're coming from here to here. There isn't a notch there, but really, I guess there should be. It's basically the seam allowance. You're kind of coming to 1.5. Is that right, Rosie? I think that's good. Maybe should be a little notch there, or maybe I'm being confused. But anyway, there's the notch there, the last one, because the last one comes into the centre front like that. So just take a tape measure and make sure you're going from the centre front 1.5 centimetres, taking that final notch to that point. It's marked on the pattern anyway. Okay, so I'm then going to do, oh yeah, there should be a notch there. You can put a notch there, so when you're cutting out that line there, just make sure you snip in there too. So, ooh. Pin that, do another little bit, I'll anchor him in, and then we're going to do a bit of hand stitching. Okay. Oh, that just came straight out. Okay, so what we want to do up to the circle, which of course I forgot to mark on before, that was good of me, wasn't it? Up to these circle points, that's what we are going to machine tack, just so it holds it, really holds the structure of those pleats. So ideally, mark those. If you haven't, like me, doesn't matter, you can just measure. So we're going up about 6 centimetres. Okay, it's fine to be approximate because we're just going to hand stitch them in. I wouldn't machine tack this in, because I think that it'd be awful if you left some stitch marks right in the centre front. So I'd recommend, you could press it, but also it depends if you want a super firm press line or not. I just thought, do you know what, I never do things like the really proper way. I thought today we would. So just got a nice, I always use a bright coloured thread when I'm when I'm hand tacking, just so then I can see it and I'll make sure it comes out. So, not that you probably would be, I just think you might as well, as it's not permanent, it makes it easier to unpick it if it's a really contrasting fabric, thread. Get your words out right, Lisa. Oh, Coco's on the ironing board. You can't see her, but she's there. Hi, Coco. She loves the sew-along. Loves the sew-along, does Coco. Just think how much she's learned over these years. Coco's my cat, just in case you're wondering who she is. Oh dear. Ooh. Okay, so just tack through like that. Can you see? Just a little bit, just to keep them in place whilst we're constructing the jumpsuit or dress. Okay, so I'm going to do what I might do actually is I'll do this on this side, but when I go to do the other side, maybe I'll press them and you can see what you think. To do the other, just give them a really firm press in. But that would mean that they'll be very, very crisp. So, now what did I want to talk to you about? I wanted to talk to you about all things new that are happening at Sew Over It. The team are doing updates on Me Made May, and they're also going to do some Sewing Bee chat, which of course has started. I have not seen any of it, I'm sorry. Can't talk to you about it right now. No spoiler alert. And the team are doing a lot of sample sewing for the next shoot, which I think is the beginning of June, because it is all the summer patterns. So I think this was the last thing that we shot at the last photo shoot. So all the summer patterns, and there's going to be 4 instead of 3. I'm not going to say any more than that, but there's going to be 4 patterns, not 3. And next month, I think, Rosie, I'm allowed to say what it is. I can't remember what the name was though, but we've got a summer dress coming. A really beautiful one. I think around this time last year we brought out Una actually, which is also relevant. And Una, everyone just went wild for Una. I loved Una. I've got so many of them. And I've got hacks of them. I've got a hacked Una jumpsuit. Did I do that one with you guys on the sew along? I can't remember my spotty one. Anyway, I think the team are going to do an Una hack video on YouTube with some ideas. So that's something to look forward to. Right, there we go. I have to say I do love a bit of hand sewing. It's very therapeutic. Okay, so let's do the other one. I don't want to press it, I'm going to sew that one. It didn't take me that long. Oh look, I've started to at least pin this one in place, so it won't take long. I'm actually going to be a bit naughty, and I'm going to sew the machine tacking along the bottom in one go. But I need to make sure that they're pinned very precisely, because the reason why we've got to make them precise, one, they're really centre front stage, aren't they? But also we want them to match up to the trousers. Otherwise it would look awful. You'd have to wear a belt all the time. Okay, so still on nice big stitchings. There we go. Yes, going to do a series of Una hacks, yes. Exactly, that's what I've said. So I'm glad Rosie's just said all of that. I missed the first thing you said, Rosie. But yeah, Una hacks, I'm excited to see that. Also, make sure you're following Rosie. If you've not following Rosie yet, Rosie, what's your Instagram handle? Pop it in. Because Rosie is posting her meme mades every day on her Instagram stories. It's really nice to see. And I have to say, like, Rosie's sense of style has completely, I feel like it's really changed. You were you quite vintage right back in the day, Rosie? But she's got such a cool sense of style, and I think it's really great how, oh, there you go, @Rosie_Sterling. I think it's really great how Rosie takes the Sew Over It patterns and she makes them into her individual style. She sort of slots them in a way that, you know, it doesn't look like how I would wear them, because I'm quite kind of girly and vintagey. She just makes them cool. And I do think it's really important to see how different people are doing different things. So yeah, followed Rosie on Instagram for her sewing chats. Speaking of which, I do not have sewing chats anymore on my Instagram. I have actually changed my Instagram handle. It's now Jazzy Rose Flowers, which is my flower farm. So if you're a gardener or interested in floristry or flowers, or want to see me set up my new business, you can follow me on there at Jazzy Rose Flowers. Right, I've done that. Sorry, I'm waffling and not telling you what I'm doing. So I'm just going to hand tack those ones in now, because I really liked it and I found it very therapeutic. So sewing bee, I think you said Rosie as well. I don't know if that's one of the comments that I missed, but you have got coming up on Stitch School some great fitting, pattern drafting stuff. And one of the things that you're doing is quite similar to what was on the first episode, the twist top or something. Am I right? Rosie is Queen Stitch School, Queen of the Stitch School. And we did do a survey recently where we asked you what you wanted. Oh yes, doing pattern drafting class at the moment. Brilliant. That's what it was, pattern drafting. So that means you're filming it, I assume. What was I going to say? I was going to say something about... Damn it, it's gone. Something similar to the twist top on the sewing bee. Oh, well, that's good to know. Yeah, I'm so glad that you guys are doing the sewing bee chat, because I do think it's really nice to debrief, isn't it? It's nice to debrief on the sewing bee, especially because I find that most of us sewers don't have immediate friends that are sewers. We don't have friends in our sewing circle. So I've always watched, even though I have colleagues and friends that are sewing, but I've always watched the sewing bee on my own. I rarely have watched it with other people there. And no surprise, no one has ever really wanted to watch it with me. I think, no, actually Mum and Dad watched it with me once, but they're not, James is not interested in watching it with me. And basically, it's nice then to go into work afterwards and chat. But obviously my work, everyone sews. Most people work doesn't. So it's nice to have that YouTube chat, hear us chat about it. So I think that's great that you're doing it. So you can debrief and watch that. I thought of something else I was meant to talk about, Rosie. I've forgotten. Is there anything else that I need to talk about that I'm meant to have? I don't want to say something that I'm not meant to. I'm terrible at sharing secrets. I'm an oversharer. Oh, the sew-off! Yes! The sew-off. Oh, we can talk about that. The big sew-off is coming back. We've decided not to do it in May, which we did it in May last year, just because I'm in prime setup of the flower field at the moment and I just don't think I've got it in me. So instead, we're going to do it in September, and we're going to do it this time at the new craft house. The girls are going to be hosting us. So the big sew-off, we do it for charity. We did it for Mind Charity last year. Because we know sewing helps so many people with their mental health, and basically we're sewing for 24 hours. 24 hours I didn't sew very much, did I? But anyway, sew for 24 hours and we stream the whole thing and we ask you guys to donate. It's on the 4th and the 5th of September, thank you. So it'll start on the 4th, but it'll overlap onto the 5th because it's 24 hours. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah, but we also invite you to join in. Maybe you want to, with your international sewing friends, you could organise, oh my gosh, a live YouTube gang that you divide up the hours based on the international what's the word? Time zones. You could, like, as a crew, sew for 24 hours. That would be amazing. And we have clever technology or Instagram and various things that we can go live and have you guys in. We can invite you and kind of... Rosie, I'm not explaining it very well, am I? But you can basically, we could chat. I chatted to Patrick Grant last time But yeah, and we also connected with some other Sew and Bee people. But yeah, maybe if you guys could put, that would be so amazing to put together a YouTube sew off team, as in the sew along, sew off team. That's a tongue twister. Right, okay, those are done. That's great. I mean that's, and we're going to move on to the trousers. So this is when what I'm saying is I'm doing things a bit differently. So I'm moving on to the trousers just so I can, because what I'd like to do with you is I'd like to sew up the front, sew up the, oh, I'm glad you liked it, Kirsty. Sew up the crotch, front crotch as well, and then just stitch them together. Now I know that's in the wrong order, but just so you can see it. Hi Siobhan. Yeah, on my Instagram I said I was doing a sew along. I am doing a sew along. I'm actually sewing. Today I have taken on a lot. I'm going to talk about that in a minute when I start pinning this. So we've got the trousers. We're doing exactly the same. We're starting at the edge, and the edge is obvious, the side seam, because it doesn't have the curly bit, which is your crotch seam. So what we're going to do is going to go to the first notch and we're going to take it to the next notch. And then the next notch, we're gonna then take to the next notch. I'm already stopped doing it one by one. Bad student. And the next notch to, again, 1.5 centimeters from the front, because that is at the seam. And if I just stand up, can you see here how they all perfectly meet? That's what we're aiming for. I'm gonna just pin the other one whilst I'm at it. Do all my pinning. Yeah, my hands are so rough. They were in the last sew along, weren't they? I don't know, like whatever I do, what's so bad as well is now the mud is stuck in the dry skin. And I know everyone's like, oh, you've got to wear gloves. I can't wear gloves in the heat. It's just, and I can't feel the roots and feel what I need to feel, so I just can't. So I have bought this kind of barrier cream. It's not really working. So I don't know. I've got also, actually, I have bought gloves, white cotton gloves to wear at night. I look like a magician. And I put like really thick unguent kind of cream on that Mum gave me, that's some sort of medical cream. But I need to do that again. I keep forgetting to do it. I'm already doing it the wrong way. Talking about my dry skin. So yes, today I'm having a crazy day because so part of this new business is setting up a flower farm. So I have a field that I am turning into a farm to grow flowers. I'm already growing things. But also I'll be doing floristry because I want to still do some things that are creative. That was a phone call. And so I've been training how to be a florist, learning how to be a florist, and I have got my first wedding tomorrow. Very exciting, very nerve-wracking because it's also in quite a posh place in central London. Yeah, I am in the middle of doing all of that. So I'm basically, yesterday I was up at 3:30 in the morning going to the Covent Garden flower market because I don't have flowers yet. And then, yeah, today I'm doing all the wonderful floristry. But I have to say, I've already done 2 enormous urn arrangements and the buttonholes. I love it. Love it. It's just like this. It's so creative. Anyway, back to sewing. So we are now going to we're machine tacking these in place. Ideally, you want to be doing it one at a time. What I'm going to do with this one, so you don't have to watch me hand stitch more, I'm going to just press this one into place, just to speed it up a little bit, just to speed it up. Oh, I'm really hungry. I haven't had my lunch. I was going to try and have it before this, but you can't wear gloves either, even in winter. I can in the winter. I definitely can in the winter. Oops. But in the winter, that's flown off, bear with. In the winter, we're not, I'm not planting like small seedlings and that are really delicate, and I think that I just feel like, you know, if I'm planting bigger plants, bare roots or whatever, fine, but little baby things, no, I can't do that. I can't feel what they need. Anyway, if anyone's got an answer or an amazing hand cream, I'm also on the search for that. I literally, every shop that I go into, if they've got a hand cream section, I buy hand cream. I've got one in here actually. Do you know what, have I got one in here? I should have put some on before I started. This is Healthy Hands, Stronger Nails. Well, my nails definitely need help. And by Vaseline Intensive Care. Not strong enough. I put it on, it absorbs straight up, and about 5 minutes later, I feel like I need some more. But anyway, I should put it on because then I won't snag on the fabric. They're that dry. Oh dear, gone are the days of beautiful nails. Can someone get something? Yeah, Siobhan, can you come over from South Africa and get me some food, please? Bring me some food. Okay, right, so that's what we're doing. We're pressing, that's right. I am going to, what can I do so that you can you see me? Oh, Coco's literally on the end of this, so it's gonna, I don't think you can see me, but I'm not doing anything that exciting. I will carry on chatting. I'm just going to press these in. Oh, it's gone to sleep. I know it's really good for energy saving and health and safety and whatever. It's so annoying that these things go to sleep. So annoying. Anyway, before everyone joined, I was talking about how many places have I done sew-alongs. How many places has my machine come and done sew-alongs? Oops. A lot of places. It's been all over the world, this machine. Got it when I was 16. It's been to university with me. When I went and lived in Italy for my Erasmus year, it's been there. And all, I mean, when I used to live in London in my 20s, I swear I moved almost every year. Because it was like that with London, you know, housemates or people would move jobs or change or move in with their boyfriend. So I was like forever moving. She hasn't complained once, have you? Happy wherever you are. Now, that's what, you can see that's really quite crisp. And I feel like that's fine, it's going to hold it in place, but I prefer it. I do think it will have a nicer effect. And if Julie was watching this, she would be proud that I've done this stitch, because Julie's all about the hand couture, nice, not cutting corners. She doesn't get cross with me that I do cut corners, but actually Julie, I don't know if Julie's going to do the sew off again, but she was amazing at the sew off. She was literally just like a steady, didn't moan, produced beautiful garments and sewed for 24 hours. And I'm sure she won't mind me saying, but this woman is in her mid to late 60s. This is amazing. And her skill, she's obviously, you see her on we put her up on Instagram and stuff from Stitch School. She's a teacher on Stitch School. And she's also a pattern cutter for us. She's been with me from the beginning of Sew Over It. And yeah, and I'd be like, oh, Julie, I don't know, this went wrong because I'm so tired. Can you fix it? Or can you just sew this bit for me? Good old Julie. Right, okay, so I am going to take the two bodice pieces and I'm going to join them at the centre front, and then I'm going to, I don't think I'll be able to try this on for you guys. I'm going to have just the front of the garment, but anyway. So I'm going to join these at the centre front, and now, like I said, this is not the order that you would be doing it. So you've got facings and things to get on. What I love also about this, no zips. And it's not because of the sewing that I like that there's no zips in, but it makes it really comfortable. So if you're wearing like a really soft dress and then you've got like a kind of a metal zip in there, it just makes it a bit rigid. So I love that there's no zips in this. So seam allowance, 1.5 centimetres, 5/8 of an inch. Make sure we go back to a normal stitch length, otherwise it'll come undone. Press on the foot pedal, Lisa, and there we go, we're reversing. you need to be nice and precise because you want to make sure that when you get to that bottom bit where your pleats are, that they perfectly align. So I would actually just make sure, just check. I've just checked that they're perfectly aligned, and I've just moved the fabric a little bit. I want that to be spot on. No pressure, Lisa. No pressure. I've got a lot of threads here because of the machine tacking. Sort of dangly bits. Lovely. I think I could go in a bit more actually. I'm going to go in a little bit more, just because if you think about it, if it's perfectly matching right on the edge of the fabric, when it comes up, when you actually stitch the bodice on at 1.5 centimetre seam allowance, so is it 1.5 centimetres there, Rosie? Just check that before I say that and confuse everybody. So if it's perfectly matching there, when it comes up, yeah, it's 1.5, brilliant. When it comes further up by 1.5 centimetres, it will be slightly apart. So I'm just going to go slightly in. Slightly risky because I am obviously then essentially making it slightly smaller, but because of the elasticated waist, you've got a bit of room to play with. And that now is, yeah, that's now means, so if I show you if I can get it up to you. Can you see there? So that's about 1.5 and they're meeting now, whereas before they weren't. Don't look at my nails. Okay, so that's the bodice done. We're going to put that to one side. I'm going to just join the crotch seam up of the trousers. And then, as you can see, these are short. I should have said that we've just cut out because we've got this lovely jumpsuit. And I'm really anti making things that I don't need at the moment. I'm trying to be very sustainable with that side of things, just as much as you would with buying. Because I found that I've just taken so many things to charity shops, or because I've got about 5 of everything. Do you remember that video, those of you that have been here for a while, do you remember when I did a video about my ultimate shift dresses and my Betty dresses? It will be somewhere in the archives on this channel. And I swear I had, at one point, about 17 shift dresses. 17! And I've had about, I don't know, 12, 15 Betty dresses in. I mean, I did wear them all the time, but my goodness. I guess back then, though, I had less other patterns. You met a lady. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's like the film 27 Dresses. No, is it 27 Dresses, that film about the bridesmaid dresses? Rosie met somebody in a fabric shop in Lewisham who had made 27 Betty dresses. I love that. Amazing. Right, we've pinned that together. Again, make sure that you've got it all perfectly lined up there at that centre front, just like we did. And you almost want to be catching it. Oh, Ruth, you watched that video. Make sure you're catching it almost at the top. So even if you sort of take almost too much right at the top, then it should be perfect for when you get to 1.5 centimetres. Wow, well, okay, this is now got a good conversation going. Let's see who has got what. For those of you live now, who has got, how many of one pattern have you got? So I'm going to start with you, Rosie, no pressure. And it's fine if it's not one of ours. What pattern do you have multiples of, the most multiples? Do you know what I've got the most multiples of at the moment is probably 5 Estelle dresses. Have you? That's true actually. That's amazing, but it looks amazing on you. The Estelle dress, yeah, the Estelle dress was like our super popular knit dress, wasn't it? A bit like the Una. Obviously Una's not knit, but she went with like wildfire through the office. Everyone loved it. The thing that I've got the most is the ultimate t-shirt. As in, I've had lots more of things, but the ultimate t-shirt I now have 4 of. 3 Hackney shirts. Oh my gosh, you put yourself through 3 Hackney shirts. That is impressive. You must love collars. And Yeah, ultimate t-shirt is what I wear all the time. Tina's got 7 Friedas. I have got some fabric ready for Friedas, and I've even brought home a printed Frieda pattern for me to do it, but I just haven't got time to sew at the moment. I was actually, seriously, and don't judge me for this, but I was like, I'm really tempted to try and find somebody to just sew up some of our patterns for us, for me, because I really want them. I really want them, but I just can't. I've just got no energy in the evenings. So yeah, Frieda, that's good. Who else? Who else has got a lot of things? Doesn't matter if you've only got 2. That still means you like something enough to make it twice. I don't think we're gonna beat Miss Lewisham lady. I'd love to know. It is quick to sew, it is, you're right. I'd love to know if that lady, if that's the world record of most like makes of one of our patterns that someone has for themselves. The world record. 2 Coras, Angeline. Oh, Cora Wagner. Not. Oh, Cora, yes. It's very hard for me to visualise all these patterns. Still, it's really hard to remember them all. Okay, I'm just going to press these seams open obviously I've not done any finishing of the seams, and you would have done that. But I really want just to join the front together with you. I also really don't want to miss if anyone's sharing how many of something they've got, so I'm trying to lean over. 5 or 6 ultimate shift dresses and several tops. Yes, of course, because as a top it's great as well. I do think that the ultimate shift dress gets overlooked as a top, because people at the shows love the Whitley top, which is very similar to the ultimate t-shirt, ultimate shift. And we always tend to sell out of Whitleys, don't we, Rosie? I don't know why. We can't seem to ever bring enough. And then I'm always like, oh, just make the shift dress into a top. It's easy. Oh no, some of my sewing's coming out. Okay, so lining up pleats. So we've got the front bodice and we've got the front trousers. And we are going to line these up. Now, I'm afraid I haven't got a magic trick for you. It's just attention to detail. 4 ultimate t-shirts, different sleeve lengths. We are the same then, Kath. I actually, I had an ultimate t-shirt on the other day. I've got a lovely floral ditzy one that I love. I had that on the other day, I wear it a lot. I need to make some shorter sleeve ones though, for sure. Okay, so I'm going to start off and I'm going to line up the centre fronts. Fiddlies. I have to say, this is when it's easier if they have been stitched in place. They're just staying in the right place. Okay, now we have got notches, so we can line up the notches, but just in case your sewing moved, I would ignore the notches and just check that the pleats are lining up. Now, a bit like what I was saying with when you're making sure that the pleats are meeting, you've got to make sure that they're going to meet at the 1.5 centimetre seam allowance. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line them up as best I can, and then I'm going to put the pins in horizontally as I always would, and then I'm going to move the pins and put them parallel to the edge, so, at 1.5, so that I'll be able to peel back and check that everything's lined up at the 1.5 point. Hope that makes sense. So I'm going to just, there's a lot of pins in here, but it's worth it. You know, what you could do if you wanted to be really precise and you're worried about everything moving, you could machine hand stitch these in place just to make sure. You wanted to be really careful. Just going to peel back. Let's have a peel back. Let's have a peel back. So I've got them all there. Okay. And then I'm going to peel back and see. Are you matching? This one is not matching. Everything else is. So we've got to do some work with that. Why are you not matching, mister? Let's have a look. Don't know why these pleats are masculine in my books, but apparently they are. I can see why they're not meeting, because it's moved, and this is why we probably should not have done the machine tacking in one go, because on the trousers where I was lazy and did it in one go, it's budged, and so the pleat's in a slightly different position to where it should be. Sloppy. Okay, and then now I fold that back, it's perfectly aligned. So let's put that pin back in parallel to the edge. And we'll have another look-see. Better. Okay. So can you see what I mean about kind of taking your time? I actually would prefer, and I probably am going to, I think it would to just machine. If this was an actual, something I was going to keep, I would hand stitch the tacking in. Hand tack it in basically, I think, just so I know that the pleats are all perfectly lined up, because it would be really annoying if they're out. Now if they're a tiny bit out, it won't notice because you can see it sort of blouses over, but if they're a big bit out, it would be a real shame. Okay, so I've done one side, I'm going to just now do this side, moving the pins in so that they're parallel to that raw edge, and then I'll have a look again and see how we're looking on this side. Ow. I need a biscuit, there's biscuits there, I'm going to have a biscuit. Ooh, yeah, not bad at all. I just stabbed a pin up through my nail, that was well done. Yeah, that looks so good, more or less. It's lovely this, isn't it? I haven't got myself any of this. I'm refusing to take any more fabric home, because if I'm not sewing at the moment, it's just upsetting me that I've got it at home. Of course, what will happen is it will sell out, won't it? Oh well. Right, I'm going to stitch that now. Whilst I'm sewing this, I'm going to have a biscuit and I'm going to not talk. Oh, Rosie's made a ruby skirt. Oh, the ruby skirt. Love the ruby skirt. She's so good for this time of year. That's the free pattern. If you're on our newsletter, you get that pattern for free. I'm going to stop talking to quickly eat this because my tummy is... Centimetre and a half, 5/8 of an inch. Very nice with the white t-shirt, Rosie, right. 5/8 of an inch, away we go. As you get to the pleats, slow down and take that pin out at the last moment. Notice what I'm doing as well is I'm putting the needle in and I'm tucking that pleat under the presser foot. So putting the needle in, lifting up, tucking it under the presser foot, and away we go. What is going on here? It's not happy about the presser foot keeps going. Stop. what that's about. Okay, there we go. Let me show you some nice close-up pleat alignment. Not bad at all. That one, yeah, that looking really nice. So that now needs pressing. Do be careful though when you're pressing. Obviously yours will be, you know, different, but do press them gently, because what you don't want to do, just try and get the point of the iron as you're pressing that. I don't actually know. Wait a second. You're zigzagging it, aren't you? And you're pressing it upwards, but anyway. Just, yeah, be careful when you press it. Da, 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 da. And now you can get, let's pin it onto me, and you can try and visualise whether you'd like to make the Jemima in this new Felicity fabric. We don't print loads of fabric because we print digitally now, so you don't have to print loads. So if you do like it, there we go. It works very well. Also, I do love the idea of wearing this with a nice white t-shirt underneath. Yes, a shorts version. Yeah, Rosie, I would like a version like this now. I want to have it for the field that I can wear with a white t-shirt. Definitely want that. Anyway. There we go. Right, can't get it off. It is beautiful, isn't it? So guys, that is it for today. Hopefully you found that useful, and you can, you know, it's nice to see how that would come together. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, if you're watching this after the live, all the links to whatever we talked about will be going into the description box. Keep your eyes out for Felicity. She's going live to the world next week, but VIP is this weekend. And I think that's it. Links and everything. Yeah, I've said that. Yeah, thank you. Thanks to Rosie for answering questions. Thanks to everyone for joining in on the chat and making it more fun. Give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and then you won't miss out on any of these videos.